Daisy, thank you for being a part of our Media Revolutionaries series.
Thank you for inviting me to participate.
Now, how did you get in this business?
Okay, so that was a long time ago. And I think I was inspired by my family. I had an uncle who was a sculptor, and then he had a small ad agency. My father did paste up and mechanicals, and I was going to college, and I worked part-time there. Shortly after graduating, I walked into PBS and did some work in production. I stumbled on a director that was doing television commercials for the Hispanic market. And at that time, there were very few agencies. So by accident, I guess in a way, I came to work for an agency called Conil Advertising. And Conil was one of the first pioneering agencies. They had just won the McDonald's account. This was in the mid-70s. And I started as a producer, writer, creative person. So that's how I got in the business. I was smitten by the whole notion of advertising and Hispanics and being able to sort of, I guess, celebrate who I was and really bring those insights to the work that I was doing. I had total relevance with what I was doing. Shortly after, I found out that Y&R was starting a small group called the Bravo Group. And of course, going into Y&R was a big deal for me. And so I left Conil, joined Y&R, and I was with them for almost 25 years.
Wow.
And I think that gave me the platform to really evolve the way Hispanic advertising was being practiced at the time.
Now, did you ever have a mentor over those years?
I had several. I had many. I think at the beginning of my career at Young and Rubicam, when I said to people I worked at Bravo, people said, "What? What is this? What do you do? Hispanic marketing? What?" But I was able to evangelize and prove that we could take this division just from adapting stuff from English to Spanish to really developing strategic work and real advertising to these customers. And I proved, I think, through being able to work with some terrific clients such as AT&T and Kraft and Pfizer and so many others that we brought into the marketplace, and we were able to prove that it was a real sound business opportunity and a growth opportunity, not just for the clients, but for the agency.
And of course, now more than ever.
Absolutely. I mean, this is now, I've seen the evolution for the last 35 plus years, and now it's mandatory.
Yeah. Now, always a lot of ups and downs in this business as you look back over those 35 years. What was your greatest setback, and how did you deal with it?
Let's see. I think the setback, in a way, was my biggest opportunity. I think the fact that I went into an area of the business that was not very popular or unknown, I think that was the greatest barrier, that I needed to overcome. But I believed in it, and I made it such a, almost Don Quixote, I needed to convince that the opportunity was there. And it became the greatest opportunity to my career development.
Interesting how the biggest setback becomes the greatest
accomplishment. Always. I guess in those days, in a general sense, being in multicultural has always been a challenge. Then later in life, when I left Y&R to open up my own business a year later, I already had a successful career. Many people said to me, "You're crazy to start all over again." I started, and again I faced another big challenge. And this time it was, I was always an entrepreneur. I think even within those corporate walls. I think what set me apart and what made me succeed in that environment is that I was an entrepreneur. So when I went and ventured on my own, you know, shortly after I opened the agency, my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I'm a woman, I'm sort of like in that sandwich generation. I had the career first, then I had my son when I already had a professional career. And here I was reinventing myself, starting all over again, becoming a caretaker of my parents, still dealing with my son who was in college, and having the responsibility of my own business. But as fate would have it, I I was approached to pitch the AARP business. And I think part of what got me the business was that I really understood the people that I was engaging with. And I brought this experience, I think, to life in a way that won me the business. And in doing so, I was also able to pioneer this 50-plus segment in the Hispanic market, because we all speak about millennials and young Hispanics, and we were already doing that with McDonald's. But being able to really understand Hispanic 50-plus and developing that insight, again, as it's I turned all these learnings into
success,
into opportunity,
yes,
and success.
And it certainly sounds like you have some more in front of you. Now, you said earlier you were smitten by the business. What would you say to a new college graduate that would smitten them to want to get into this great industry?
I think if you like people, if you're creative, if you're an idea person, if you get bored easily, this is the business for you, because it's ever changing, ever evolving. It's exciting. I think that there used to be, if you look at the Mad Men, episodes, this idea of glamour. I'm not so sure that it's so glamorous as it's been made to be. But I think it's a very exciting business filled with innovation, and now more than ever, I think.
And if you were to give them a piece of advice to succeed in our business, what would it be?
Well, I think you have to hard work. You have to have commitment. You have to have passion, curiosity. You never stop learning, never. And perseverance. I think you have to, believe in something, do it, learn from it, and keep at it.
Never give up.
Never give up.
So you've seen a lot over the last 35 years, but many of us argue that the next 5, 10, 15 years are going to be transformational. So give us your prediction. Where are we going to be in 10 years? What's the industry going to look like, and what's going to drive that change?
I think we've already seen, we've started. The notion of marrying, ideas and storytelling with technology and data, that is the current, and it will be the future of the business. I think I would be remiss doing what I have practiced for so many years, not to say that I think we're going to see, especially in the United States, a more diverse industry. I think clients will have to be more diverse, with the growth of the Hispanic population, where in more than 50 markets, we're the majority market. We're leading, we're the growth for so many brands and categories. If you want to be meaningful as a brand, you will have to have people who understand the culture. And I think the agency model, as we know it, we're already seeing, the silos are coming down. Creative is media, and media is creative, and, we're going to continue to evolve in that. But I think that we will need, culture will be very important for brands, and I think consumers relate to culture, and so brands that are smart and that practice that will be the winners.
Great insight. Thank you.
Thank you
being
very
a part
much.
of our
Thank
special
you.
series.
Thank you for including me. I'm privileged. Thank you.